Welcome to another weekly featured business brought to you by Visibility Impact and your host, James Moffat, where he will gracefully take our featured guest on a personal and business journey and stories that will inspire, educate, and engage you.
Hello and welcome to another Friday Featured Business brought to you by Visibility Impact and your host, myself, James Moffat. Today we have our 123rd guest, right? You're going to learn about in a minute. I'm going to take him on a journey from his childhood to where he is now. Now, just before we get going, I do like diverse guests, more diverse the better. So any topic is welcome. So if you know anyone that has something interesting to talk about, then feel free to pass them on. And I'd love them to be a guest on the show. So without further ado, let's make a start. So we have in his studio, I can't say mine because we're in remote places. So we have Camilo Martinez. So welcome.
Thank you for having me as your guest. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure. And we previously had Camilo's wife on the show, Linda. So she's been a guest. So if you want to know all about Linda, then you can check out the YouTube channel for the recording, so the video recording, or we do have a Spotify channel if you just want to listen to the audio. So let's get a move on. So Camilo, let's start. So with a name like that, like where do you live now and where are you originally from?
Well, I'm living now in Switzerland, Thun, Switzerland, an awesome town. I like this town. I'm very happy. The country is good. I'm from Colombia, Medellín, Colombia. Well, actually, I grew up in a small village in Colombia, East Antioquia is the region from my departamento in Colombia. The town is called Alejandria. I grew up there. Born in Medellin.
Excellent. And yeah, we have had previously, which I should connect you with, Colombian guests. So at least two, if not more. So yeah, I should introduce you to them. So So just tell us a bit about, because I like to take the guests on a bit of a journey from their childhood to where they are now. So growing up as a kid, I mean, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have two sisters, one brother.
All right. Older, younger?
My brother is the oldest one, then Milena, my sister, is older than me. I'm kind of in the middle, and my younger sister.
Right. And are you the only one that's actually living abroad, or have they ventured off as well?
Yeah, I'm the only one. I'm the only one who flew away from home.
So we'll come on to that in a minute. So growing up as a kid, typically what types of things did you enjoy and do?
Well, as a kid, I enjoyed it a lot. Be free in my town. Be free because we were surrounded by mountains, rivers, and forests, and the only thing I liked to do was going to the forest, going to the river, going fishing, do what kids do, or what we used to do at that time. Run around, jump into the river, go hiking in the mountains, and all of this stuff. Discover this small world that I have around me.
So very much in the nature.
Yeah, basically.
So did you, I mean, at the time then growing up as a kid, I mean, surrounded by nature and lots of outdoor activities, I mean, it's completely different to, I mean, my kids grown up now. I mean, although there is nature because we live in Switzerland also, but I mean, there seems to be more of a push on electronic things rather than getting out in the nature, although I'm trying to push them to be more in the nature. I think growing up when you did in Colombia, there wasn't so much choice necessarily with computer games and stuff.
There were video games. Yeah, I remember some video games like Nintendo and all these stuff. But I will say there was these things, they were expensive in Colombia at that time. This technology was expensive in Colombia. So the common families, they couldn't have access to it. So we have no choice to be free and go play outside. I think it was at that time was much different as being United States or here in Europe, that at least families, they have a little bit more purchasing power to buy this kind of stuff to the kids. We didn't have this. So that's why I think, I don't know, my childhood was this kind of freedom, or go to the forest, go play with what you can find on the mountain.
Yeah, actually, it's not too dissimilar to mine. Although I grew up in the UK, I mean, it was quite a while ago before any computer games. And yeah, we didn't come from a family, I mean, a rich family or anything. So we had to use our imagination and go out and be creative when we went to play. So, I mean, we played a lot of football, we played lots of sports, we made up games, and we're always out in the nature. And if I look back at that compared to like today, I mean, I think we had so much more fun as kids because we had to use our imagination, and we had the freedom to express ourselves and be creative and just get out there and entertain yourself. So we did. And my wife comes from Brazil, and she said exactly the same. She spent her childhood, I mean, always outside, and very rare that you'd be in watching TV and stuff. Although that has significantly changed now, because when we go to Brazil, it just seems like there's an influx in TVs and computer games and phones and everything else. So it's completely changed. When she sees it when she was a child compared to what it is now, there's a massive difference. And so, just digressing a bit, technology helps advance you in your learning, but it also is an inhibitor in, I would say, in your personal development with nature, because I see with my kids that they can quickly spend hours and hours, if given the chance, behind a video game. Whereas I'd say get out there and get in the forest and go and do things. They're more reluctant now to want to do that, whereas we didn't have that choice. We were just kicked out the door and go and entertain yourself.
Well, I think it's what you can, or what we can show to them to have fun with in the forest. For example, I don't know, a piece of wood and make it fun for them, or throwing rocks to the river. I noticed that my kid is throwing things all the time. And one time we went to Germany to visit our family in Germany. I took him out, go for a walk, and a click of my mind said to me, put him next to the river and throw rocks with him. And he was having so much fun. I was like, okay, yeah, this is about it. Just to show them how fun it is as well to be outside. Maybe we lost that. We lost that. How fun was it when we were a kid in the forest, jumping in the river? Maybe we parents or adults, we became so boring people. That's why kids are not listening to us, I guess. I don't know. But I see Miguel, my son, that we are having so much fun together. But I think it's because I recall my childhood all the time with him, and thinking what was fun for me. This was fun for me. So I'm gonna pass it to him. I'm gonna tell it to him. I'm gonna show it to him. And he's having fun, and it's easy. I'm talking with my co-workers at job, and one of them is saying the same. Yeah, I'm having so much fun with my kid doing this kind of stuff when I was a kid as well. He said to me. And I think it's just that. It's just remembering what was fun for us, and that will come I think, I don't know, because he can spend as well some time on the tablet, on the phone, but on his own, he can just stop it. Or we can teach him how to stop it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think everything kind of in moderation and a balance. I'm not saying that they should avoid technology and games and stuff, but you also need to connect with the outside. So with nature, with the forest, with mountains, with going trekking and hiking and swimming in the sea or the river or whatever. Now, I went out, funny enough, this afternoon because it's Easter holidays at the moment, and two of my kids were at home, so they're just driving us crazy. So I thought I'll take them for a walk in the forest, which we're only like 5 minutes away from. So we went in the forest, and they didn't want to go at the beginning. They were very reluctant, but once we got out there, they didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Right. So it just goes to show. But I mean, it was simple things. It was just like how many different animals and things you can spot. So that became a game. So they're looking around, and we saw squirrels, we saw cats, dogs, horses, cows, and all sorts of things. And then my daughter said, let's go and see the pond because there might be some frogs there. And I thought maybe it's a bit early for them, but let's go and have a look. So it became an adventure.
Exactly.
But once they got out, they enjoyed it. It was getting them to go out. Whereas I think growing up when we were kids, it was different in the way that we kind of pushed out the door because there wasn't much of a choice to do anything indoors. So you'd go out anyway. But anyway, so let's just kind of move on from that. So I agree, kind of things in a balanced environment. Don't restrict them from having something, but there has to be a balance between, don't overdo it either. It's like anything. Too much of something is not necessarily good for you. Right?
Yeah, well, I like to take sometime my bike and put him on this trolley, the trolley bike for kids, and just drive around with him, and then tell stories of funny things, or just play with him, and then say out of the blue, and okay, let's go to the forest. And he finds this funny, and he asked me those days, Papa, let's go to the forest. I say, okay, we can't go now because it's raining, and another day we go. But now in his mind, something is clicked to go out to the forest or to the lake, for example. He likes that. You just make it fun and they will follow.
But the thing is, they remember that. And then when they're older and they have kids, then they share these stories as well, which is beautiful. Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of jumped a little bit forward. I mean, so you have one son.
Yeah.
How old is he?
3 years old.
Oh, wow. Still young.
Yeah.
Yeah. My twins are a boy and a girl. They're 7. And my eldest son is 10.
All right.
Yeah. But I remember having 3 kids under the age of 3, and that was hard.
All right.
Because when we had our eldest son, he was 3, and then we had twins coming along. And similar to you, living in Switzerland, we didn't have any family here. We don't have any family here. And having 3 kids at that age was extremely tough.
How you did? Because for us, it's a little bit of, it's not difficult, but it's a little bit hard to deal sometimes. If I want to go out with my wife, I can't, because affording a babysitter here is a little bit expensive. Well, expensive. And yeah, I don't know.
No, it is. Exactly. It is extremely expensive to kind of hire anyone, but we used relatives, so which we called nannies, actually. For the kids, we called them nannies, right? So we had a relative from Brazil for 3 months, then we had another family member, and they kind of alternated. So we always had, at least for the first couple of years, different people coming to help. Otherwise, it's just
you
impossible.
Brought them here. You brought them here. All right.
But that was not cheap either. because
Yeah.
they can't stay for, they can only stay for a certain amount of time before they have to go back. And so therefore you have to look at the next person, but you're flying them in and out and looking after them and feeding them and everything else, right? And yeah, they want to do their own things. You can't make them work 7 days a week all the time. So they want to do things on the weekend or whenever. So they need, yeah, time to do their own thing. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough, not just with the kids, but also with the helper. I mean, because for us, we just never stop. And I think that was the toughest thing, was physical exhaustion. I mean, you just never stop. But anyway, so let's kind of move forward. So you, what made you leave Colombia, and when was it?
I think there is a trigger point in my life. I remember a mom of a friend. She was living in Japan. It was like, I think 15 years ago. And I remember she brought this CD player or something like that. And he borrowed it to me. And we went to a commercial center in Medellín. I was listening to music with this device, and I started to think at that moment that I was in another country. Just being in Medellín in this exact point, but something was telling me, you are in another country. You feel like being in another country, because I was looking at the people walking, passing, going up and down, and I was like, yeah, it was like for a second or few seconds, this thought. And then when I was kind of finished my degree in college, one of my teachers told me, Camilo, you shouldn't be in Colombia. Why you don't go away? Go somewhere. You can see other things. Because I don't see you here in Colombia for, I think you're too open, too free to be here. And then I started to look for places to go. And I was too attached to my mom and my family, not depending on them, but attached, I mean, with feelings and strong, this mom and son thing, because my mom is one of my best friends. So I started to look to, in agency, how to go and do an interchange language stuff. And I found Ireland. And that, I liked it. I say, Ireland, okay, that sounds cool. I started to look on internet what was about it, videos and Celt story, medieval story, church story, and I have favorite points in history that I like. So medieval era is one of them. And seeing the castles and all of this stuff, I was like, okay, I want to go to see castles. So I want to go to Ireland. And then is the starting point, like meeting other cultures, other languages. So I started to study English, because I was very bad in English, really. When I was school or college, I was really bad. I couldn't pronounce any word. So I came to Ireland with a little bit of English, of course. And for me, it was awesome. I was young. I was a student, kind of free. Then I found a job. Then you get a little bit of money, so you can discover a little bit more of the country, of the culture. But knowing the language in countries like really different as your home country is really cool, because then you get closer to the people. You're not close to your culture anymore. your culture is there, like in standby, but then you're close to the culture and you start to understand them, and then you start to speak like them and think like they think, and this is so cool. So you wanted more and more, and then you're meeting people from France, from Spain, from Brazil, from Venezuela, from all over the world, and then you start to ask questions, because then you don't speak the same language, but you speak English, so you want more, you want to learn more from people. And yeah, I'm a social person. I like to talk to people. So for me, it was awesome going to parties, meeting this guy from Russia, from China, from Korea, from Japan. That was really cool for me. And I was like, okay, I want to stay here. This is so nice.
So when you went to Dublin.
Yeah, I went to Dublin, yeah.
Right. And how did that come about? I mean, you found that island you want to go to, and you kind of found that Dublin. What was it that you were going to? I mean, did you have an apartment? Did you have somewhere to stay? Did you have a job? Or you mentioned about being a student. Were you on an exchange, or what was it?
I went on exchange. So this host family, they host me there. And for a month, I don't remember, for 2-3 weeks, don't remember well. But that was I still remember the smell of this house. It's really homey. I liked it. Really homey. And Irish people, they are very, very kind. They are very cool people. So I felt at home. So when I came to this house, they were treating me like another one of their kids. They were so cool, very open. They were telling me how to do this, how to get to school, how to get the bus, like taking my hand.
So how long was the stay there? 1 month, you said?
Yeah, 1 month. Yeah, I would say 1 month.
But then how long were you allowed to stay in Ireland for?
For 1 year as a student.
All right. So then after that 1 year, you'd have to go. What would happen? I mean, how long did you stay for in the end?
I stayed 3 years, so I had to renew my permit.
Right. But when you finished, what did you study when you were there?
What did I study? English. I came to study English.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
And then when you finished that, what did you do next?
Well, the plan was my plan basically was to study the English for 1 year, but then I got the option to keep studying English and having a job at the same time. But at that time, the second year, I submit again in this English school, got my permit, but I started to work to get some money to live there. So my point was like, okay, I think I know a little bit. I think English, my English is enough. So I'm gonna work and see what happened next. So what happened next is like, I was doing many things in Dublin to live. I bought a rickshaw. I don't know if you know these bicycles.
Oh yeah,
like taxi bicycles. I bought one to pay my rent. But at the same time, I was working, so the bicycle paid my rent. But with my salary, I was doing other things, like partying or normal stuff for students. So that was my plan in the second year. And then I got a nice job because I was recruited by a wealthy family in Dublin. They saw that I was working hard and my English was not bad, and they needed a person to go to their factory to help them. And they asked me, and I went there to work. And at that time, I was studying part-time, and the rest of the time I was working in this factory.
So how old were you at the time?
I was, first time I stepped on Dublin, I was 25.
Young. I remember going to Dublin. I've been to Dublin many times, and I worked for an Irish company based in Dublin, or actually two. So I was there quite a lot in the past. But I was there, I know, quite a while ago, and I remember seeing these rickshaws in the street, right? And I remember like one guy stopped, and we got talking to him. He's a Brazilian guy,
Yeah.
right? And I was just telling us about, oh yeah, they go around, and I mean, it was pretty cool. So it just made it kind of a flashback memory of that. So I guess there's a good community of guys doing the same thing.
Yeah, actually, I never drove this bike. I rented it to other students.
All right.
So at the weekends, they were making good profit, and I profit from that as well. So actually, I had kind of an employee, but I didn't like to drive this bike. I wanted to enjoy Dublin night weekends, you know.
So you bought it to rent it to other people,
Yeah,
so they could then make money.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
a good idea. Then you could buy the second one and then the third one and do the
Yeah.
same.
Actually, that was my plan. That was my plan. But then I met Linda.
Right. We'll come to Linda in a minute, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold you a little bit on Dublin because I love Dublin as well. And so you went around, obviously you got to know the Temple Bar area pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
The Guinness Museum.
Yeah.
The Jameson for whiskey drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I did all of these things. Then we went to Wicklow Mountains.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Dublin. When I first went to Dublin, it had the old airport, and then many years later, got the new airport, which made a huge difference.
Yeah.
But it is
my
it is
favorite
one of
place in Dublin was a Fennis Park.
Yeah,
It's huge park. You can go by bike, and I was I don't know, times I needed to be alone. I just put my music on and ride this bike and go to Fennis Park. Go around. I don't know how many places I discovered in Fennis Park, but I liked it to go into the woods and just ride there. With even bicycles weren't allowed, but I went there. I said, I just want to see what is going on here. Discover new paths. I don't know. It was very cool.
So, besides drinking, I mean, did you become a fan of drinking Guinness?
No, no. It's heavy for me. It's heavy.
And whiskey?
Whiskey, yeah. Actually, my wife gave me a nice whiskey, a nice bottle of whiskey. It's called Dubliner.
Oh, nice.
Nice whiskey.
Yeah. So, did you like the music? The music is fantastic. I love the bars for the kind of local folk music.
Yeah. This Irish music outside the bars, outside the pubs, they are very cool. I like it. I went many times to this Celt pub.
Oh yeah. The
Celt is awesome. Oh, it's awesome. Only just Irish people is going there. Yeah, all Irish people. And there was so fun, so much fun there.
Okay. So let's move on to then. So meeting Linda. So how did that happen?
Well, that's a cool story. Yeah, I was out with some friends, and there was this place, this pub called Sweeney's. It's a reggae pub. So I like reggae music and all this stuff. And we went there, and I was quite bored. I don't know. I was tired. And then, I don't know, I wanted to go through the dance floor for getting a beer. So when I was going through, I saw this blonde girl smiling. I don't know if she was smiling at me. Well, she was smiling at me, obviously, but I didn't know at that time. I was like, okay, she's smiling. Okay. I was approaching her because I like to conquer dancing. So I think this is one of my major skills. So as a Colombian, I dance. I liked that. I like dance. So I was approaching her, and then yeah, I don't know. She had the feeling with me, the connection with me, and then I don't know. They stopped the music. We were dancing, but they stopped. Suddenly, the music was gone, and I told her, "Fuck, they destroyed the moment." So she was laughing, and at that moment, I said, "Okay, she's mine." So I start to dance. I start to dance with her, and yeah, the rest story.
Excellent. I love it. So that pause in the music was perfect timing then to get
Yeah,
together.
yeah, exactly. To make this comment, just to come with the comment.
And you said it was reggae music, so kind
Yeah,
of
reggae music.
Bob Marley or something.
Yeah, I think this song was no Bob Marley one, drum and bass or something like that. I don't remember what, but the music was stopped for a moment.
Yeah, that was your moment.
That was my moment.
Right. So then afterwards, then, I mean, not the details then. I mean, after you decided that you wanted to go and not stay in Dublin anymore, but to move to Switzerland.
I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay, but the situation went a little bit complicated because being a non-European citizen is a little bit complicated, especially in Ireland. And okay, that was my last year because I had I got the option to be 3 times in English school. So 3 years in English school. After that, or I go away or I keep studying, but advanced study. So I don't know, technician or engineering, but that's expensive. So that's expensive. So I didn't know what to do. So then I talked to Linda, and Linda gave me the option. We talked together, we spoke. After, I don't know, 9 months after we met, we were talking, and then I say, yeah, I don't know what to do because it's complicated, or I go to Colombia, or I enroll in school, engineering school or something like that. I don't know what to do. We talked, we spoke, and we come to the idea to come to Switzerland. She asked me, okay, if you want to try, you just try, come here, and we can live together, come here to my flat, and we tried, and that's how I end up here in Switzerland.
Right. So after meeting on the dance floor, then you kept that relationship going then for the next 9 months or so, remotely.
Yeah.
But did you see each other in between?
Yeah, no, Linda was coming to visit me every month, every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Because I was not allowed to go out from Ireland.
Really?
No, I wasn't allowed.
Because
So
of the
I had to, this is complicated for some students because you had to go to school, to English school, get some assistance. So if you have less than 80% assistance, you cannot go out from the country. So because the school is how you say, is the entitled to take care of you in the country. So that was basically, but that year I was working a lot and skipping classes because yeah, for what going to learn English, if my English is enough, I passed the IELTS. I don't remember what test I passed it, so I didn't care. So I just needed the permit.
Okay. And with the rickshaw business, I mean, what happened with that?
Yeah, I had to sell it. I sold it. I sold the rickshaw. They were, because I did good with the bike, because every time I got a new guy for the bike, before I fix it, I learned how to fix it. I learned how to set the wheels well, the brakes, to control it, to repair everything that was a little bit in bad condition. So I learned it, and then I sold it in a good condition. Actually, I sold it for the same price I bought it.
Very good. Are they expensive?
Yeah, I pay like 2,500
All right. Okay.
euros. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But actually, I was doing a bike business as well with other friends from Brazil and Venezuela. So, well, this is that is a turning point in my life where I thought, if I get a chance again like this, I won't miss it. Because I remember this guy, William, he came to me and said, hey, Camilo, man, you're good in business. So let's set this business together. It's just, we put 1,000 euros together. You put 500, I put 500, and we set a shop. It's just to collect shitty bikes, fix them, and sell them. And the market is good. The market is good. You sell the bike. So you buy a bike for 10 euros and you can sell it. You fix it and you can sell it for 50 or 80 when the bike is in a good condition. And there is a lot of students needing a bike. So at that time, William asked me for 500. And I said, no, William, I'm sorry. I bought a ticket to go to Morocco. I want to travel to Morocco. So I've been in Morocco while he was setting the business. But I came back helping with the business, but not as a partner, more like a help. And 2 years later, 2-3 years later, they sold the bike shop for 16,000 euros. So then I said to myself, Camilo, next time someone comes with a businessman, says yes. You don't know how you're gonna get the money, but says yes, please. Says yes. So I don't know. Since then, I say yes to a business.
So would you say that, I mean, have you always been kind of entrepreneurial? I mean, as a kid and growing up?
Yeah. I remember not for profit, not for money, but I was dealing with friends. For example, I was telling my wife, I don't remember who was telling, we were talking about bikes. And I told them, look, the first bike I fixed was my brother's bike. He gave it to me, but I didn't know how to fix it. So I had a friend in Alejandria, in my small town. He knew how to fix bikes. So we need to change the handlebar. I didn't know how. So I deal with him. I say, man, you fix the bike and we ride the bike together. So the bike is gonna be for us. So he fixed it, he put the parts, but I put the bike. So we were riding the bike together. So that was kind of my first deal with someone for fun. So let's say the profit was the fun. And then in college, Diego, another classmate, and me, we decided we didn't have money. I was working at that time as well in the same college as a cleaner. I was doing cleaning jobs, cleaning the toilets at the same time going to class, but I needed more money. So we decided to set a little kiosk, like a mobile kiosk. So we got the seats from the classroom and put a lot of candies and cigarettes and all of this stuff to sell it on the corridor of the college. And we started to do that, and it was good. It was good. So we had money to party.
Very good. No, I love it. I love kind of that entrepreneurial mindset at the time, because then that goes on to other things later in life as well. And so then moving to Switzerland. So when was that? I mean, how long have you been in Switzerland now?
Now it's been 5 years.
Okay.
5 years, yeah.
And so you came over, you lived with Linda, and then you got married.
Yeah, after 1 year, I think, being here, few months, 7 months, 8 months, I don't remember. We got married because it's the only chance I get here to have a right to be in Switzerland. So we talked together, Linda and me, we talked, we decide to, okay, let's get married, and then you can be in Switzerland. And I say, okay, yeah. So I proposed Linda I remember in my terrace in Medellín. And yeah, she was happy. I said, okay, let's make a family.
Congratulations. And now you have a 3-year-old son. So
Yeah.
So that's like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Right. So well done. I mean, it's great. So do you have then a Swiss passport?
No. I have a Swiss permit.
All right. Okay. But Linda's Swiss.
Linda is German.
Oh, right. Okay. That's why you don't have a Swiss passport.
Yeah.
I forgot.
That's right.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember your Linda story now. She came from Germany to live in Switzerland and never went back again. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you live in a beautiful part. I mean, for people that are watching this, Thun is just outside, well, not far, 30 minutes away from Bern, but it's on a beautiful, beautiful lake. And at one end of the lake is Thun, and at the other end is 𝗙𝗘𝗔𝗥. And that's a very touristy place. And then you've got the mountains, the skiing, the paragliding, all sorts of things. Boat trips. I've been on that boat many, many times. The steamboat that goes from Thun to 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗏 and back. I took my mum on that one actually, and it was a sunny day, and I left her in the sun, right? And she doesn't forgive me for that. She came back with a red face. Right? Anyway, but it is a beautiful place. So what do you do for a living? Because you mentioned earlier about riding bicycles. I mean, you went off on adventures riding bicycles. So that is one of your main hobbies, I guess, cycling.
Yeah, cycling. Yeah, it's a hobby. It's for fun. For me, is when I'm stressed or a little bit, I need something. I get my bike.
Okay, so you never, I mean, because Switzerland is big in bicycles. I mean, every street corner seems to have a bicycle shop. You never fancied working in a bicycle shop in Switzerland with your experience of what you had in Dublin?
Yeah, actually, I came with the thought like, okay, here is cool. The bikes here are more, the quality of the bikes here in Switzerland better than in Ireland. The bikes are cooler, faster, but expensive. So that cost a lot. So I came with the thought like, could be nice to have a shop here, bicycle shop here, like my friends did in Dublin. But then you have to survive here. You need something you need money to eat, to pay the rent, so you get whatever job is on the way. As a non-European citizen, is a little bit more complicated, not complicated, but you have to go through a path to reach certain level of living here in Switzerland. Is the language, and is learning the culture as well, because it's a part of the process.
So do you speak German?
I speak a little bit of German. Yeah, I speak German. I have to, and my family is German. My son is German, so I have to be part of it.
And then going to, I mean, for work. So what do you do now?
Now I'm working 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏.
You are working with bikes.
Yeah, so I'm working with bikes. But the cool thing in this company is I can join my hobbies together. That is electronics, computers with bikes. So it's everything there.
Yeah, because 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 were kind of the first type of e-bike in Switzerland, or maybe it wasn't the first, or maybe it was, I don't know. But it had the the biggest reputation, and it was known first.
There is no bike like Strong. I don't see Strong like a bike company. I see Strong like a tech company. I don't see like a bike company.
Because I remember I did a lot of work with Swisscom, and I think Swisscom were a big sponsor of Strummer, and yeah, to help promote it and everything. But I mean, I saw kind of the early versions of those, and I mean, they were state-of-the-art tech bikes. They were excellent.
Yeah, they are cool. They are cool bikes.
Right. So let's just move on to some other things. So you have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel, yeah.
Right. So what you talk about or do on that?
I talk about basically Bitcoin related with politics and economics, macroeconomics.
Right. So in saying that, I mean, Switzerland is also kind of a hub, particularly in the Zug region, for cryptocurrency or crypto fintechs. And yeah, so I mean, you're very much into kind of crypto.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You understand it all, because I mean, you mention it to a lot of people, and yeah, it just goes over the top of them. They have no idea what you're talking about. They might have heard the name Bitcoin, but when it comes to crypto, then most people, I would say, are quite naive and have no idea what it is.
Yeah, people tend to think that crypto is just being rich overnight. But it's not, that's not the case. Yeah, there are some cases. Of course, there are some cases, but it's not about it. It's tech. You need to know a little bit of, you have to have a wide knowledge on tech if you wanted to understand, and a wide knowledge in economics if you want to really understand how this thing works.
So how did you get into it?
Into economics or into crypto? Because there are two parts that joins this story.
Okay, well, actually both. And so how did you get into both and then join kind of the dots together?
Yeah, in college, I knew this guy. I met this guy, Don Augusto. He had these vending machines for coffee. So when I was working in my college, he asked me to clean his machines, and he tipped me with a coffee, or he helped me with some tips and money or whatever. And we started to talk together. And he talked about cash flow and the flow quadrant and all of this stuff I didn't know. And I asked him, what is that, man? And he started to talk about Robert Kiyosaki and this guy, and I was really curious, man. If you tell me one thing that is sticking in my mind, I go and research. So from then on, I was really into okay, Robert Kiyosaki, this and that, and Robert Kiyosaki mentioned a guy, and this guy mentioned another guy, and I started to learn about cash flow, economics, all of this trading, and yeah, I started to learn whatever was coming to me. I was learning it. That got me into economics.
So now you have your YouTube channel and you talk about like politics and crypto. Yeah. So are you offering advice on how to invest in crypto?
So someone advised me, or I advise someone?
Yeah. I mean, both. I mean, do you invest yourself in them? And do you advise people that how to do it?
I tell what I do. I don't advise people, because the problem with people who doesn't understand what is going on, they always blame someone. So you have to be careful in this, because people, if they don't understand well, they will tell, okay, you told me to do that. So my thing is to tell what I do, and then they decide what to do with their money. It's their money anyway.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we could definitely set up a separate discussion, like a panel discussion, so have some other people in and have questions and answers about basically taking people through what is crypto, what's Bitcoin, what are the other kind of cryptocurrencies you can have, what it is, how it works, and maybe just to bring people up to speed, because I would say 90%, probably more, of the population have no idea what it is, but it seems to be something that the banks and cryptocurrency or crypto startups are talking about, yet most people will be left behind because they don't understand a thing about it. So would that be something that you'd be interested in joining a panel discussion to talk about?
Yeah, definitely. That would be cool. That would be cool to talk about it.
Right. So when you say to people like I'm not going to tell you what to do or anything, I'm going to show you what I do. So what you do, I mean, obviously you've learned what to do, and it must be working. Otherwise you wouldn't tell other people that this is what I do, because you wouldn't tell them that I'm doing something that's not working.
Yeah. Well, how I started to not profiting, learning. So you learn through pain. So actually, I was losing money. I enrolled in this trading course, and yeah, I lost like 500 euros, something like that. But I learned a lot. So this technical analysis and all of this, and in the course they taught us how to get the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, how to see these indicators, this and that. Then you don't really see the indicators. You see a little bit more in the future how humans are behaving, and then in the market how they behave, how they put the psychology on it, and then you can profit from that. So when you go to a graphic, you see that thinking of the people, what they are looking. So this is what I really got from these courses. Because when you see the candlesticks and many, you put a line here, that's confusing you. But if you think like, okay, let's say, for example, if Robert Kiyosaki is investing in gold and he's good with money, why I'm not investing in gold? So I do what they're doing. And then from this, if I buy, if he's buying and the others are buying, you see this in the graphic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to understand and to learn more about that. I mean, I could share some stories about, I mean, many years ago that I kind of dabbled in it, but I had no idea what I was doing. And I think that's it. You can go into something completely blind and then have a bad experience, or learn from someone that's been doing it, and then it helps. I guess it's kind of the same message for anything. If you're going into business and you don't really know where you're going, then it's nice to have a guide, mentor type person that is showing you the way, because they've typically gone down that road before and made the mistakes and learned from that. So now they can share with you before you go out there and make the mistakes that they made.
Yeah, exactly. You can listen to them and listen carefully what they say through their experience, like how they failed, how they lost money, how they learn about this. And you can, if you're really interested, you can pick that from them. But there is psychology of investor is different. So investors, they know they can lose the money, but they look at the macro and they say, okay, we are in this cycle of the economics. Let's say, for example, real estate. And I'm not going to buy real estate right now because it's so high. So I wait till it's going down, and then I buy. and then I wait for 10 years, then I sell, and when it's going down, I buy. This is what is the name of this guy? Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is talking about it, about this cycles. And in the human history, you have these cycles all the time. All the time.
Yeah. No, there's definitely easier ways to make money than a 9-to-5 job. And I mean, it depends on what the 9-to-5 job is, actually. But I like entrepreneurs. I like people that, I mean, I've had lots of guests on the show that have gone out there and kind of faced the odds, and everything was stacked up against them, yet they've still come through and been successful because they believed in themselves. And even though the product or the service that they were offering at the time might not have been the best fit, they believed in their own abilities to be able to go out there and win. And most of it, I would say 80% of what you do is your mind, is your mindset, having the right attitude towards this, because you've got to also understand that at times you're going to fail, but that failing isn't a failure, it's a learning. And you learn from that to go on to bigger and better things. Obviously, you don't want to fail too many times. That's why it helps to have some coaching or guidance on that way.
Yeah. Well, actually, failing is the best school, because people is afraid to fail, because we were taught at school to don't fail, because if you fail, you're left behind. You're something else from that society doesn't want. And yeah, my mom is a teacher. She's retired, but she's a teacher. And when I was older, when I was 20 years old, I said to my mom, don't tell the kids they fail just because they have zeros in the exam or in the homework. Just encourage them to do something with their lives, because math is not for everyone. Biology is not for everyone. Whatever subject or topics you are learning in the classroom, it's not for everyone. There are kids that they like maths, there are kids that they like arts, there are kids that they like music, but this education system is putting everyone in a cage. And in Colombia, the classrooms, they look like jails, because the surrounding of the campus is with fences. And the classroom, they have, in the windows, they have metal bars. And I always said to my mom, but this is like jail, going to jail. So you had to understand that. You had to open your arms when the director is telling you, you had to go and pray. But I don't want. I don't want this. So one of my aunts, she's psychologist, and she said, Camilo, you have a mental disorder. I said, mental disorder? What I have is that I'm bored at classroom. So how you can tell a kid that you have a mental disorder when he is not in the place that he really needs to be? So I said to my aunt, you can't tell me that, because my mind wants joy. My mind wants an experience other thing. I don't want to see a guy or a woman or a miss or a man there telling me that I had to do this and this is the right thing to do. It's not that I'm a rebel. It's like, hey, I want to enjoy this thing. But don't tell me that I had to sit for 2 hours, listen to you, bored. In Colombia, it's hot, you're sweating, bad smellings are coming. Of course, you're not concentrated. So school system, I think, are wrong, in my point of view. I've been a student. I was bored all the time.
I agree. I mean, I've also had lots of teachers, like regular teachers in schools and home school teachers, and they all said the same thing. it's an antiquated system globally, and it's an indoctrination rather than education.
Exactly.
And I mean, the fact that you've got a fence like a perimeter fence and bars on the windows, I mean, it sounds like a prison already. But I mean, I had the same at school. Exactly what you said. It was actually, I saw a post in LinkedIn this week, and it shows you lots of different animals. And then someone, I can't remember what it was now, I'll have to dig it out. Someone was saying to the animals to get them all to do the same thing. And they said, well, I'm this type of animal, I can't do that. And I'm that type of animal, I can't do that either. And it's like saying, like Einstein said, you can't take a fish out of water and get it to climb a tree. And it just doesn't climb a tree. It is not, so you can't get things to do things. I'm not saying that we're all fish or we're all one thing or the other, but we're born with an imagination and creativity, which is restricted and inhibited when you're at school. Also, the fact that there's a lot to education that we don't seem to understand. The fact that your auntie said that you have the problem, well, obviously she doesn't understand her own job, because when it comes to psychology of children, you have to understand something deeper than something superficial like that. So you have to understand, why don't they like school? Is it the ambience? Is it the surroundings? Is it the teacher? Is it the lesson? Is it the atmosphere? Is it bullying? I mean, it goes deeper and deeper, but fundamentally, I mean, we're not all the same. I mean, you get kids that excel at sports, that they're the best sports kids ever, and you definitely want them on your team. But when it comes to maybe academical skills like maths and something, that it just baffles them. They just cannot figure it out. It just doesn't make any sense to them. It doesn't mean that they're stupid, but they're labeled stupid. But when it comes to sports, they could be the best athlete in the school, but you don't seem to get the credit for that. So it's a balance. I mean, also, I went to school and I had subjects that I really loved, but the teacher that delivered the subject was the most boring teacher ever. And I struggled to feel that passion for the subject I loved. I've had the opposite. I've had the most boring, horrible subject that I've got, like as you said, 2 hours of this. No, I'm going to start daydreaming, right? But I've had the most exciting teacher that's very engaging, and I thought, I'm actually learning something here because of the teacher. So there's too many things to take into the equation to think that it's not one size fits all. There's too many things that, but then understand, why isn't the kid learning? This one needs a little bit more attention than that one. This one picks up easy. I mean, I use the analogy like a football team, right? You could have the best goal scorers, the Messis, the Ronaldos, but it's all about teamwork. Everything is about teamwork. And if they never get the ball, you'll never ever see how good they are, because they'll never get the ball. So it's up to the rest of the team to get them the ball. Exactly. It's the same in school, right? With the class, same in sales and business. It's teamwork.
It's teamwork.
If everyone works together, you're successful. I mean, if you've done your best possible and you failed or you didn't win, at least you've gone out there and you've done the best you could. Right?
Yeah, but it's crazy, because how you motivate as well teachers when they're having bad salaries, for example, because they need to provide for the family as well. So teacher, like, thinking like, okay, I'm here in this classroom teaching all these 50 kids. They are all the time mad, or I don't know, they are jumping around, and I need to pay my bills. There's no focus on that. Of course, there is no joy in the job. So how possible is like paying less for a person who is telling the future of a country? So it's, for me, it's in my mind, is something is wrong, because if you want a good future for a country or for a place or wherever, you need to have a quality people in the classroom telling them, guiding them, telling them that they are awesome, telling them that they are cool, but no put them down all the time. No, just because they are teachers, we don't have money to pay a good schools. We don't need this football field in the school. We don't need that teacher. We don't need this specialist. So it's ridiculous. It's the future of the humankind that is in the classrooms as well. I'm thinking parents, they need to be more into it as well, because it's not enough like drop your kid at school and come for your kid at the afternoon after school. You have to be there. If they need you, the support, you need to be there. Not like this is a place where they take over your kid and then you get your kid in the afternoon after your job. Of course, I come higher from my job, but at least I want to spend at least 1 hour with my kid doing whatever. So he wants to play with me, okay. Sometimes I say no, of course. I have my rights to say no to my kid. And I'm not harming, I'm not hurting him. I make him understand, I don't want, I'm tired. But as well, I spend time with him when I want, when I feel into it, when I feel good. I go and play with him. I teach him the numbers. Linda teach him the letters. Now he's able to count till 50 in 3 languages. He can add, 1 + 1 = 2. He's speaking German, English, Spanish.
Excellent.
It's because we spend time with him.
Yeah.
And I don't get bored teaching him. I don't get bored. And Linda does the same, exactly the same. And I think genius are not because they came with a special brain. I think genius, they come because they have special parents. They have parents there for the kids. Now I understand this because I'm a dad, and I have my kid, and for me it's awesome telling things, telling him, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can have fun with this. I can share my experience with him.
No, I think it's beautiful, and you're right. I mean, my kids also, because we come from a mixed family in the way that my wife's Brazilian and I'm from the UK. I mean, our kids speak English, Brazilian Portuguese, and Swiss German, and they're learning French at school. So, I mean, completely different to when I was at school. I mean, I learned English only, and I mean, we were never pushed to learn a second language.
But do you speak German?
Well, nicht so good.
𝗙𝗘𝗔𝗥
Yeah, in bouquet Portuguese. Yeah, but I mean, but that's another thing. I mean, educating kids when they're young to learn a different language. I mean, they say a kid has got the capacity to learn 5 languages simultaneously, right? I mean, my kids did 3 like yours. I mean, 3 was no problem.
Yeah, they have no limits.
3 by 3. I mean, 3 languages by the age of 3. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I struggle with the second one, and I'm a lot older than 3. But
yeah. But they are free. The cool thing for a kid is like they're free to do, because they don't have these stigmas or this thing from society. Okay, they are gonna laugh at me. They're gonna laugh at me. No, man, they don't have that. And they don't have that.
Yeah, the other thing is they don't have to learn it grammatically correct. Like I was at school, and I mean, one of the most fundamental things was 𝗘𝗘𝗏𝗏.
Yeah.
And I think I'll never understand it. Why don't they just say that, or just have one of them? It's
like in English.
Yeah, the apple, the banana, the bike, the car. Then you had to know the 𝗙𝗘𝗔𝗐𝗏, and I thought, why? It's just the, isn't it? So just they could just be the or d or das. Why confuse you? So
well, German is a complex language.
it is, but then you have to, once you've mastered well, I wouldn't say mastered, but once you've learned High German, then nobody speaks High German, they speak Swiss German.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm thinking, right, I've come out of school with my High German. I'm feeling quite proud. I can have a conversation, right? And I'm on the bus going home, and I don't understand a single word. And I think, well, I thought that I've just spent like 2 hours now in lessons, and I'm feeling good. And I'm trying desperately to understand any conversation on the bus. I cannot understand anything. I think, well, what's the point? I'm learning one language and they speak a different one.
Yeah. Well, the official language here in this part of German, in this part of Switzerland, is German. So every document you get from the bank or from the Gemeinde or from the government, you get it in German, High German. Yeah. But when you go on the street to talk to the people, they speak Swiss, Berndeutsch, 𝗙𝗘𝗔𝗥, 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗞. And okay, guys, wait a minute. Can we talk in German, please? But people once you speak to them in their language, they come to you. They come to you. They talk to you.
Yeah.
And this is cool. This is cool. I find it cool. A little bit hard, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I found that I did work in the French-speaking part, and the French-speaking part don't particularly like to speak German, so they'd rather use English. And then if the German-speaking, they don't speak French, then they end up speaking English with each other, which quite ironic. They learned their own 3 languages like Italian, French, and German, besides the Romansh, of course.
The Romansh, yeah.
But they end up by default speaking English with each other. So
yeah,
strange.
So here in Switzerland, I think 80% of the population, they speak English. They speak English, and many of them, they speak Spanish and Portuguese. A lot of people, I heard on the street, a lot of Swiss talking Portuguese and Spanish.
Yeah.
It's funny because Swiss, they can afford a trip to Latin America, go to Brazil, go to Colombia, go to República Dominicana, and I don't know, Mexico, and they can learn the language there.
Yeah. So I just digressing a bit. Yeah, I need to ask, your T-shirt that you're wearing, is that branded from what you do?
Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, it's the Bitcoin sign.
But it's your branding?
No. I found it on internet. It was cool, so I bought it.
All right. Yeah. And then the baseball cap, that's not.
No, I'm not branding any of it. It's just my outfit.
I thought you were kind of sponsoring or promoting kind of your brand.
No.
But you have a brand or not?
No, I don't have any brand. I don't. Right. I set up a business here in Switzerland. I was a computer technician. It's called 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗏, but I don't do anything with it. Just to buy and sell things on 𝗪𝗘𝗘𝗞. I mean, computer stuff on 𝗪𝗘𝗘𝗞, which was good. It's one of my other small business I do. Well, Linda is taking charge, so is taking the business over because I have no time. So we spoke together, and Linda is in charge of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to keep you all night because we're doing a late show today. We normally do it early on a Friday, but we're doing it late on a Friday. So kind of what's next for you? As in, I mean, you're working, I mean, you talked about, which is very important, doing something with passion. So your love of bicycles and biking and riding bikes, and now working for 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is a bit of promotion there. Kind of what goes next? I mean, what do you see as kind of your next step, or where you want to be next?
Well, actually, besides, I'm learning about tech. I'm learning about this tech company. I like to see what is going on there, and see what I can do outside of it. I mean, not a copy or no any of this, but like what I can do with this knowledge I have. So I think there is a big business after all, with all of these 2030 agenda that many companies are betting on, zero carbon emissions and all of it. So I think the business is doing well. This company is doing well because it's an electric bike which you can get long distances with this bike in 1 hour. I'm doing with this bike from Thun till 𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗏 is 37 kilometers in 1 hour with this bike, because the bike in average is going at 40k per hour.
Wow. So you don't get a company car in this job, you get a company bike?
Yeah, I have a bike from the company.
All right. I mean, that was one of the perks of the job.
Yeah. Actually,
so how long does it take you to get to work?
On the bike, 1 hour.
1 hour? Well,
yeah.
Where are they then? Where's the company based?
It's in 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏. Is do you know Bern? Towards Fribourg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that direction.
Wow.
So 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏 is like, let's say the factory is exactly I think 10 kilometers away from Bern city center. I say.
All right.
I think.
All right. So nearer me than you.
Yeah.
Wow. And you cycle every day there and back?
No, every day. When it's raining, no.
All right.
When it's raining, it's because I don't have the proper raining suit to ride the bike.
You should ask them to provide that.
Yes, but at the moment they don't have it. So at the moment they don't have.
Oh, you can't. Yeah. Well, maybe.
But anyways, I don't care to get my own, because anyway I ride my bike. I had 3 bikes, so I sold one, then I had another one, Stromer, and then I have my other bike and my wife's bike.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice bike like that you can go a long journey, long distance. Yeah. Because I think that, I mean, I'm into pedal bikes. I mean, not assisted. The only assistance is me.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I see people like shooting past me going up a hill, and they're off in the distance, and maybe I could go further and make it easier, but still enjoy it.
But you're still moving your body, because the effort is different. Because anyway the bike is not going if you're not pedaling. So the effort is different. Well, I like to kick the bikes very, very strong. I do. So the bike is going on a good speed when I'm driving the bike. So I think I'm pushing the bike a lot, pushing hard. My legs are hurted, shaking.
Yeah.
But you're not cheating. You're not cheating. Actually, you have the same posture. You pedal, and if you kick it hard, you're doing your exercise.
If I wanted a bike, I could come and see you and get a discount.
Actually, there are some special discounts for employees. For friends of the employees, I don't know, but we can discuss this another day, because it's another business.
All right. Anyway, I don't want to, as I say, keep you any longer. I mean, your story, like what you've told me, is absolutely fantastic. And it's great, because we touched on lots of areas: your childhood, your education, and, I mean, living in Dublin, being entrepreneurial, then living in Switzerland, which is not an easy country to live in, and then getting married, having a kid, and doing what you're doing. So I mean, congratulations on your journey so far. So do you, I mean, have your parents or any family come over to see you in Switzerland?
Yeah, my sister has been here for twice. Yeah, she came after my wedding. Yeah, 1 month later. And my mom came for the first time. She came when my son was born.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but all my family is in Colombia.
All right. But you now you get to go to Colombia as well to see them.
Yeah, and I have business in Colombia as well.
Another business.
Yeah. I have business in Colombia. Do you remember what I told you that I one time I get a chance to get a business, I would say yes. So that's exactly what happened. So I have a friend this is a common cousin from my cousins. So he's a YouTuber, Instagrammer, and he had a lot of audience on his social media. But one time I was talking about Bitcoin, I don't remember crypto, and he contacted me because he was promoting something. He contacted me, we talk. So we know each other from long. Actually, we were studying at the same college. So he contacted me, he asked me if I could speak on his show or whatever. He interviewed me, we talk. And then he asked me, hey, Camilo, I think I need to tell you something, man. I have this business with a singer in Colombia. It's a popular music in Colombia. And I think maybe you might be interested on him. So I say, okay, tell me about the business. He say, man, it's just about to manage him, be his manager, and just, yeah, we need to contribute. We need to sponsor him with some money. And I say, okay, wait a minute. You're proposing this business to me. Why? And he say, no, I don't know. I see your videos on YouTube. I know you, and I know you like to make business. So I think maybe we can do it. And at that time, I didn't have a job in Switzerland. I was in Colombia for holidays with Linda. And I say, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I think about it. Then I thought, okay, this music is very popular in Colombia. The singer has a YouTube channel. He has an Instagram channel. He has this. And he's offering me this for free. I'm going to get it. I don't know how I'm going to sponsor him, but I'm going to get it. So we signed the contract because I was in my town watching the people drinking, because this is a popular music. This music is listened by people in the canteens, in the bars, drinking. So this music is to spend money. So I saw the people and I say, okay, I think here I see a business. So I'm going to profit from the music when the people is getting drunk, because they're going to play the songs and the songs all the time. So on YouTube, they're gonna pay us advertisement, all of this that YouTube does. So I don't need to put too much effort because the singer is the one who is putting the talent on. I just need to sponsor them and make strategies for the business, which I did. And I've been 1 year with him. And I don't have any big profit with him, but we have a future. We have I have a vision of 6 years with him. So music, I saw music like, man, if you hit a song, you get a really good hit. And this song is, I don't know, is viewed by thousands of people. Of course, you do fine. You do good with music. And the royalty, because I have the contract, I have the rights with the songs as well. So I have the royalty. I say, if the hit is good and the people like it, I'm going to profit for that. That's 𝗪𝗘𝗔𝗥 philosophy. So making a a business that is making money for you without effort. I mean, the effort is put at the first place. When you make the plan, you invest, you get these people, you talk in behalf of the artists. So you do all of this, but once a song or the channel gets bigger, you're okay. You're doing okay. So then the effort is done. The job is done. So you make an effort once, and then YouTube is working for you. So that's how I saw the business. And I say, okay, I don't know how I'm going to sponsor this guy, but I go to Switzerland and I will see. So I didn't have any job and no money, but I had some profits from crypto. So I had to withdraw some crypto, provide from my family from this crypto. I invested in gold and silver as well. So I had to collect a little bit of my investments, provide for my family, pay the rent, pay this, and start to sponsor the guy. And then I come with some jobs, random jobs, going there, going this, and then I end up in Stromer. And I did well, and then I have a good position, means a good loan, a good salary. So now I'm okay. Now I'm okay. I can run all my business, and I keep working. So that's how I saw the business, this music business, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot.
I love it. I mean, I love kind of that entrepreneurialism, as I mentioned. I mean, also it's kind of opportunist in a way that you see something. I mean, you never know when this is going to come about. It could come out in a discussion or down the pub with some friends. It could be something that you've seen that's triggered an idea. I mean, it could be from anywhere. And I think this is quite unique. This is the difference between kind of a regular person going necessary to a 9-to-5 job that doesn't think in the same way to someone that, is looking at opportunities and seeing how they can make something, and willing to give it a go. And I think that half of the challenge that a lot of people face is they're too scared to give something a go. They're already seeing the failure before they've started.
Exactly. You never know if you never tried. You never know.
Even if they did fail, at least they've tried.
Exactly.
And that's the difference, because you're likely, it doesn't mean you're not going to make the same mistake twice or 3 times or so on. But if you look at a lot of these like big serial entrepreneurs, they failed a dozen times but never given up. They've always believed at some point they'll have that breakthrough.
Yeah.
If you look at J.K. Rowling's, I mean, the author of Harry Potter, she lived in a bedsit in London, like a 1-room apartment in London with her daughter, and she had nothing. She just wrote books, lots of different books and stories, and nobody was interested in buying them. And she got a lucky break, and the rest is history. I mean, Harry Potter is like the #1 kind of series for kids, and books and movies and everything else, merchandise. And now from that 1-bedroom apartment in London, she lives in a castle in Scotland.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't mean that that's going to be for everyone, but you don't necessarily want the castle. You just need the mindset, the belief in yourself that I can do it, I will do it, I'm going to do it. And this is the difference.
Yeah, this is when I was a kid, I saw my grandfather, my grandmother, they had this coffee business together. They were coffee dealers. So they were buying the coffee from the farmers and then put it on the floor to get dry, and then sell it to the big dealers in Medellín. So I saw that. I saw my grandfather was not really into it. He was more the guy, the name, Don Fernando. But my grandma was the head of the business, because she had all the bookings, she had all the accounting. She didn't know how to read, but she was doing maths all the time. I remember her notebook full of numbers, doing all the accounting for the business. So I saw that as a kid, I saw it. And what I saw as well is every day she was watching at the news at noon. How much was the dollar, the pair, Colombian peso with the dollar, and then the dollar with the coffee. And that, I don't know, that it was in my mind since I was a kid. And I was like, okay, but I didn't understand what was the relationship of all of it. Now I understand, of course, commodities, forex market, all of this, but I didn't understand. So my curiosity of all of this came from there, from my grandparents. And that was so cool. I saw that, but I never thought I could do business with this. And then I say, when I was a little bit older, I said, I want to be an investor. I want to be an investor. Being an investor, it doesn't mean you're the richest guy in the world. Being an investor is someone who wants to have the experience of putting something to work. That's as well, and having this long-term thinking. And I wanted to have the experience, and I say, okay, let's go for it.
No, I love it. I mean, your story is definitely very inspirational in a way that anyone watching can reach out to you, and also, I mean, listen to your story, your background, what you've done, where you've lived, and where you are now. Like, I mean, for some people, they'll never achieve anything like that, but at least it gives people hope that you can do these things. And this is the very reason why we do these shows, like to inspire people, to educate. I mean, just listening to you has been an education as well. And then most importantly, to bring hope to those that are feeling lost, basically. So I thank you very much for being my 123rd guest. And if people want to reach out to you, can you provide, I mean, the best way to do that? I mean, you can share some links and things as well that I can put on the show notes.
All right. Well, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my main social media right now is Instagram. Well, Instagram now is booming. So it's Instagram, because I don't use TikTok. So, and YouTube. I have my videos in YouTube, but in Spanish. That's a Spanish speaking channel.
Right. Excellent. We'll put the links and everything in the show notes. And is there any kind of closing message that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, actually, I want to say something like, whatever you want to do, whatever feeling you have, just go for it. Go for it. It doesn't matter if people is pulling you down, dragging you. It doesn't matter. Just be if you are struggling to be yourself, I think a little bit of rebellion is the answer. A little bit of stubbornness in that moment, say, I don't want to do what they're telling me, is the breaking point to push you forward. Because that means that something is calling from you, telling you, man, I gotta do something, and I gotta do something different. All my life, I've been doing all of this, and it's not working. So let's put it upside down. Maybe that works. So this is actually, literally, it's a revolution. It's a revolution. And you do that. You just do. Instead of complaining, you go, well, don't waste time complaining. I know that the situation is, for me, it's been hard living in Colombia. But you know what? Just go for it. What you can lose, an experience. Experience that, that's all.
I think that's beautiful. And that is definitely something that people should take into consideration and do. I mean, someone sent me a card I have as a reminder just in front of me here. She says, don't dream it, do it.
Do it.
Because we could dream all of our life and always challenge ourselves and never actually do it. But at the time that we do it, is that pivotal point, kind of that breaking point that you've actually taken that commitment to actually do something. And
Exactly.
that takes courage and to break out that comfort zone to actually do something. But then once you've done it, you can look back and think, well, it's only rewarding. It's
a good exercise to get rid of fear is face what you fear, or start with little things. For example, I got my bike, 3 a.m. in the morning, go into the woods, no lights, totally dark. And I say, okay, Camilo, if you go there in the dark with your bike, you can't do anything, man, because you facing darkness. So my sight, it got so clear that I could see the path. So I think my mom was telling me, okay, you don't have fear anymore. If you don't have fear anymore, you can see clearly. That's a turning point. Jumping from heights as well, man, do it. Just scream and jump. That's all.
I love that. Just scream and jump. I think I'd be screaming all the way there and back. But you're right. I mean, yeah, I had to face fear also about public speaking. But that's another story. But
you're doing it right now.
But I mean, I had to get on the stage in front of a live audience and actually deliver something that was compelling, meaningful, and left me with a good feeling. And that's a story in itself. But once I'd done that, then I had no fear anymore. I didn't care.
Yeah.
So you have to face it. And once you've done it, it might be the hardest moment ever actually doing it. But then once you've done it, the rewards are endless.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thank you, Camilo, again, for being a fantastic guest. I love your story. It's definitely going to help inspire others. And I wish you a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was awesome. Awesome conversation. Thank you for opening this door to me.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. See you later. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Wow, that was another featured business brought to you by Visibility Impact. If you'd like to be our next featured guest or learn how James Moffat can help you leverage on the art and power of interactive storytelling for your business, reach out and schedule a call now.